The President of the United States is in danger, and the only man who can save him is a Navy SEAL veteran who was unjustly put in prison.
God bless America.
The story begins at a peaceful farm in Virginia that serves as a cover for an underground NSA bunker. An agent on the surface is taken down by a group of armed assailants wearing futuristic high-tech suits. They quickly install sophisticated explosive devices and breach the ceiling of the bunker. The head of the facility, Agent Augustus Gibbons, is informed by his subordinates in the control room about the breach. The assailants go inside through the newly formed holes in the ground and start shooting the agents. While one of them launches a small drone with an infrared camera that he controls with a remote, the rest continue movement deeper into the facility, shooting everyone they see on their way. Gibbons and his men arm themselves and move towards the assailants. The firefight ensues. Having lost all of his men, Gibbons reluctantly retreats behind the closing door back into the control room. The drone followed him inside, but Gibbons quickly destroyed the enemy device. The attackers use concrete-piercing grenades to shoot through the walls of the facility, destroying the control room with the remaining agents. They go inside and finish the rest, while Gibbons orders the remaining survivors to evacuate the facility and uses the elevator to go into the barn on the surface, where he is met by his colleague Toby Shavers. The two sit in a car equipped with a variety of cutting-edge spy gadgets, including the rockets that they use to blow their way out of the barn, after which they quickly drive away from the assailants through the countryside of Virginia. Gibbons decides to go off the grid as he believes the attack was an internal job, so he wants to conduct his own investigation. NSA agents arriving at the bunker later declare him and Toby missing in action. In the White House, Secretary of Defense George Deckard informs the President James Sanford about the recent attack at the NSA facility. Upset about the unsettling development, the President orders his staff to deal with the problem immediately. Meanwhile, Darius Stone, a former U.S. Navy SEAL, is serving his 20-year sentence in the maximum security prison for disobeying orders and assaulting a general 9 years ago. Gibbons arranges to have a meeting with Stone. The two served together before the incident. Gibbons offers him a way out of prison. He wants Stone to become his new XXX agent and fight the men who assaulted the NSA facility. Stone is still bitter about the events that got him in prison and refuses the offer. Gibbons informs him that the assailants will go after him even in prison because he was part of the same unit as Gibbons and the dead agents.
You can die in here, or you can take the fight to them.
Persuaded by this argument, Stone reluctantly accepts the job. Gibbons can't get him out officially, so the two plan his escape. The next day, around 12 o'clock, guards take Stone out of his cell for a usual exercise in the yard. He attacks the guards, takes off his restraints using their keys, and runs into the laundry. After blocking the door with a club, Stone uses a wire and a spinning part of the laundry equipment to take off the metal cage protecting the ventilation fan, while guards try their best to knock down the blocked door. They finally did it, but Stone had already knocked down the fan and climbed outside. He proceeds climbing onto the roof while fellow inmates in the yard cheer for him. Stone runs through the roof, jumps onto the other building, and descends towards the ground. Guards catch up with him and try to fight him, but he easily overpowers them and continues running. Stone jumps from the wall of the building and skillfully grabs onto the helicopter, piloted by Gibbons and Toby, while guards open fire at them in desperation. They fly away from the prison, land the helicopter, and get into Gibbons's car. They drive to a diner where, accustomed to prison food, Stone comically eats lots of burgers. Stone refuses to take orders from Gibbons and demands to be equal partners.
I'm running the show now.
Wanted by the police, they need a safe place to lay low for a while, so Stone and Gibbons drive to Stone's old neighborhood, where he goes into the large car repair shop owned by his old friend Zeke. Zeke informs Stone that his ex-girlfriend Lola now owns an exotic car shop uptown. Stone, Gibbons, and Toby drive to meet her. In the car shop, Stone and Lola reminisce about old times. She is reluctant to let them stay at her place, but changes her mind when Stone offers to give her Gibbons' car, which is an expensive 1967 mint condition Pontiac GTO. Still having feelings for Stone, Lola gives him another vehicle in exchange and lets the three stay in her shop. Gibbons wants Stone to infiltrate the NSA bunker that was hit and recover the hard drives while he goes back to his house to recover the rest of the evidence. At the farm, Toby helps Stone to prepare for the attack by scoping the perimeter. Toby wants this to be a silent extraction, but Stone ignores his instructions and shoots a rocket at the car, creating a distraction. The agent in charge, Kyle Steele, orders most of his men to get to the surface. While agents search for the assailants on the surface, Stone goes down through a hole in the ground and proceeds into the facility, while Toby gives him instructions. He beats up the two remaining agents in the control room and removes the hard drives. Meanwhile, NSA agents on the surface realize that the car explosion was a diversion and head back into the bunker. Toby informs Stone about it, so he quickly leaves the control room and runs to the hole while agents chase him and open fire. He escapes through the hole and destroys it with a pistol. Stone runs away through the farm while Steele and the other agents chase him. The chase continues through the forest. Stone reaches the pier, intending to escape on the boat. Before leaving, he opens a fuel valve on the other boat and then departs. Agents get to the pier. Stone shoots at the spilled fuel, causing an explosion. While Steele and his men recover from the blast, Stone proceeds upstream towards Toby. But there is a problem. Toby is stopped by police on the bridge. Seeing this, Stone accelerates towards the ramp and propels his boat onto the bridge, destroying the police car in the process. While the policemen are stunned by the explosion, Stone gets into Toby's truck and the two drive away from them. NSA agents hold a briefing concerning the identity of the man who stole the hard drives. It is revealed that Stone started as a criminal but eventually changed his life and became a Navy SEAL. During the Yugoslav wars, Stone was involved in the conflict in Kosovo and was given an order to let civilians perish in the fire. He refused the inhumane order and assaulted the general who gave it, the current Secretary of Defense George Deckard, breaking his jaw in the process. For that, he was given a 20-year prison sentence. The security footage from prison has confirmed that Stone was helped in his escape by Gibbons, who was declared missing in action earlier. Steele orders the two men apprehended. Meanwhile, Gibbons goes back to his house to retrieve the evidence. He finds the documents hidden in his basement, including the photos of his old Navy SEAL unit. Gibbons hears a noise and goes upstairs to check it out. Suddenly, he is attacked by an agent who beats him up and points a gun at his head. It's a trap set up by Deckard. While his henchman, Agent Alabama Cobb, holds Gibbons at gunpoint, Deckard reveals that he was behind the attack on the NSA bunker. That attack was a part of his elaborate plan. Gibbons hates Deckard because he was there in Kosovo 9 years ago and burned his face in the fire, trying to save the civilians Deckard ordered sacrificed. Deckard knows all about Darius Stone.
I know every move you make even before you do.
He signals Cobb to knock Gibbons unconscious, after which the two let him perish in what will appear to be a gas leak explosion in the house. Stone and Toby later watch the news report covering Gibbons' death. Using the microfilm hidden on the hard drive, they find out that Gibbons had a contact in the White House, someone called Charlie. Sometime later, a military funeral is being held for Gibbons, attended by his family and colleagues. Stone and Toby sit in the car nearby and spy on the people attending the funeral, including Deckard. Among the crowd, Stone recognizes Charlie Mayweather, a woman who must have been Gibbons' contact. Stone gets himself a suit and glasses and follows Charlie to a fancy restaurant, where he approaches her and explains the situation to her. Charlie was Gibbons' friend and is willing to help Stone. Later, Stone, dressed as a waiter, attends a party attended by the White House officials in Washington. He spots Deckard in the crowd. He is discussing something with General Jack Pettibone. Deckard is guarded by former members of the same Navy SEAL unit that Stone was assigned to, including Cobb. Stone covertly approaches Deckard, avoiding Cobb's attention, and overhears the conversation between Deckard and Pettibone. Deckard is planning a military coup against the president in 3 days and tries to get Pettibone's support. The general refuses to be a part of Deckard's plans. Cobb spots Stone, so he has to leave in a hurry. Pursued by Deckard's bodyguards, Stone goes through the kitchen and escapes in Charlie's car. It is subsequently revealed that the president wanted to cut expenses on the military, shutting down bases all over the world and stopping expensive military projects, which offended Deckard, a known militarist, to a point that he considered a coup to be the only way to save the country from the dangerously pacifistic president. Steele and his partner, Agent Meadows, find it odd that half of the people from Stone's unit were assassinated, and the other half is working for Deckard. Meanwhile, Charlie drives Stone to her luxurious mansion in the suburbs. She is the daughter of a U.S. senator. Charlie shows him to his room. Later, Stone is alarmed by strange noises in the house. He takes out his gun and goes to investigate into the other room. To his dismay, he finds the dead body of General Pettibone, and Charlie is nowhere to be seen. As police sirens approach the house, Stone realizes that Charlie tricked him. She is clearly working for Deckard and tries to frame Stone for Pettibone's murder. Stone gets to the basement and shuts down the lights in the house. Police officers are getting ready to breach the residence. Agent Steele arrives and tells the officer in charge that he needs to talk with Stone immediately. Disregarding the officer's objections, he moves towards the house and shouts to Stone that he is unarmed and just wants to talk. Stone allows him inside and they have a chat. Stone reveals to Steele that Deckard is behind all of this. He eliminated Gibbons and Pettibone. Now he wants to frame Stone. Steele believes him, but tries to convince him not to run, as he will look guilty if he does.
Brother, I was born looking guilty.
Steele comes out of the house, after which the SWAT team proceeds into the residence by breaking the front door. Inside, they use thermal sensors to track Stone to the bathroom, but soon find out that it was just microwave food that he cleverly heated up while he was talking to Steele earlier. Stone knocks out one of the SWAT policemen and takes his uniform. Dressed in the SWAT uniform, he walks outside unnoticed and successfully escapes in the car. Later, the picture of Stone is being shown on the news as he is now wanted for Pettibone's murder. In the most ruthless manner, Deckard gives a moving speech, claiming he and the general were close friends and he will personally hunt down Stone for what he did. Toby hacks into the Department of Defense to retrieve Deckard's plans. Apparently, for an upcoming coup, Deckard uses an aircraft carrier to move his troops and armored vehicles back into the country through the naval base. Stone arrives at the base and observes troops being deployed in the docks. He climbs inside the aircraft carrier and finds a military uniform in the barracks. Stone puts on the uniform and proceeds to the hangar, where he observes vehicles and equipment being moved outside by Deckard's troops. Among them, Stone spots Charlie and Cobb, who are talking while looking at the plans of something. He follows her to one of the rooms and aims a gun at her. In a surprising twist, it turns out that Gibbons is alive, and so are the other members of Stone's unit that were declared dead. Deckard imprisoned them all and faked their death. While Stone and Gibbons talk, Charlie tries to flee.
You're not going nowhere.
Neither are you.
Stone takes the plans and leaves, fighting his way out through soldiers approaching the alarm. Charlie wakes up and informs Cobb that Stone is here on the ship. He sneaks behind the soldiers in the hangar and gets inside an armored vehicle. Stone drives towards the exit, while enraged Cobb rushes his men to destroy the vehicle with rocket launchers. They miss. Cobb's men got into a tank, intending to shoot Stone. They comically miss again and again, but eventually damage Stone's vehicle. Despite the damage, Stone gets out and uses the aircraft carrier elevator to escape from the hangar along with the vehicle. On the deck of the carrier, he sits in the vehicle and continues his escape. Cobb's men in the tank also use the elevator to go up. Expecting this, Stone uses the aircraft catapult to propel his damaged vehicle towards the tank, destroying it in the process. Stone runs away and jumps into the water, avoiding the barrage of bullets coming his way. Cobb's men desperately fire in the water, but none of them hits Stone. He avoids the searchlights and eventually manages to escape from the docks. Later, Stone arranges to meet Steele in his car in the parking lot. He shows Steele the plans, verifying that Deckard is planning a move on the U.S. Capitol to overthrow the President James Sanford in a coup. He also tells Steele about the military buildup in the docks. Steele is not entirely convinced as the plans themselves don't prove anything. Later, Steele tracks down Stone to the car shop. The two deduce that Deckard wants to kill the president and his successors so he can replace them as president. Unable to trust the police or anyone in the White House, they seek help from Zeke and his crew. Toby reveals to Stone that the Department of Homeland Security is hauling guns in civilian trucks. The crew stops one of these trucks using attractive women from the club as bait. Once the drivers come out, Zeke's crew arrives in cars along with Stone and Toby. Behind the cheese, they find a hidden compartment with guns and take it all for their needs.
God bless America.
Near the Capitol building, Deckard's troops get ready for the coup. Deckard is going to blame Gibbons and his men for the assassination of the president and his successors, after which all of them will be conveniently killed off by Deckard, who will appear to be a hero who avenged the president's death. The troops lock down the streets around the White House. Stone and Zeke plan the attack against Deckard, after which they get in their vehicles and depart to save the president. The president arrives at the Capitol building and proceeds inside to deliver the annual State of the Union address. Driving to the Capitol building, Stone and Zeke ram the barricades set up by the military. Soldiers open fire at them, but they continue driving further nonetheless, and go around the military through the warehouses. However, they are soon stopped by a tank. They quickly leave their cars before the tank opens fire, destroying their vehicles. Stone and Steele climb onto the tank and order the soldiers to surrender. Afterwards, they steal the tank. Stone drives the tank, comically destroying the cars parked in the streets. While the president delivers his speech, the power in the Capitol building suddenly goes down. Deckard and his men escort the president to safety, or so they claim. Seconds later, he gives his hitmen a signal to strike. They blind President's guards with lights and go down on ropes, shooting everyone who's not part of Deckard's crew. Eventually, the president is left alone with Deckard, who teams up with Cobb and the other assassins, revealing to the president that he's behind all this. Meanwhile, Stone and Steele arrive at the Capitol building and proceed inside. Deckard and his henchmen are about to execute the president. Zeke and Toby open fire from the tank's gun, disrupting their plans. Stone and Steele arrive and exchange fire with Deckard's men while he and Cobb escort the president to Charlie, who brings restrained Gibbons to them. Stone and Steele ambush Charlie and rescue Gibbons, who contacts Deckard on the radio, informing him that all his men are dead and telling him to surrender. Refusing to accept defeat, Deckard and Cobb abduct the president and proceed to the emergency bullet train underneath the Capitol building. Stone goes after them, but gets there too late, so the train escapes. On the surface, Lola arrives in her fast sports car.
Heard you needed a ride.
Stone takes the car and goes after the train. Navigating through the dense traffic at high speed, he barely avoids crashing into the incoming truck. Gibbons and Steele sit in the helicopter and follow the train as well. Eventually, Stone catches up with the bullet train and accelerates towards it. In the most comical manner, Stone jumps onto the rail tracks, blows his tires, and continues chasing the train, with his car wheel discs going directly over the tracks. Gibbons and Steele arrive too and move closer to shoot Deckard and Cobb. However, Steele can't get a clean shot, so he gives up the idea, as he might injure the president. Approaching the train, Stone shoots the glass and then climbs onto the train. Once inside, he proceeds to the control room where the president is held. On his way, he is ambushed by Cobb. The fight ensues. They go back and forth, inflicting damage on each other and accidentally piercing a gas pipe. Stone is put on the ground. Noticing the gas leak, he takes a lighter Cobb dropped earlier and detonates the gas, killing Cobb in the process. The explosion destroyed the train's brakes. Meanwhile, Gibbons flies the helicopter towards the train, after which Steele descends on the rope to extract the president. Deckard takes the president hostage and goes out of the control room. He opens fire at Stone. Stone cleverly shuts down the lights in the train and uses a gas grenade on Deckard. Distracted by Steele in the window, Deckard fails to react to Stone's, who quickly approaches him and puts him on the ground. The president runs away and escapes from the train on the rope with Steele, leaving Deckard and Stone engaged in the fight. Eventually, Deckard gets the gun and aims it at Stone. Stone notices that they're on the bridge over water and quickly jumps into the water. Seeing this, Gibbons shoots rockets at the train.
Your turn to do the dying, General.
The train explodes, taking Deckard's life. Stone flies towards the water while the wrecked train explodes behind his back. He survives the fall and gets to the surface. The president, Steele, and Gibbons celebrate on the helicopter. After the violent ordeal has concluded, Stone is officially released from prison. He watches the news covering recent events. Despite what really happened, Deckard is declared to be a hero who tried to save the president from the unknown assailants. He received a military funeral. The president awards Steele and the unknown soldier, Stone, the Medal of Honor. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button so you don't miss interesting movie plots.